Two Ton Nerds. As always, my name is Max James. It's day 4 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 2, and tonight I will be watching Thinner, directed by Tom Holland, and it's also based off of a Stephen King novel, and it's the second of the 4 Stephen King movies I have scattered out through the month of October, and a nice little tidbit that I've never actually sat down and watched this movie all the way through. I've seen it up to a certain point, stopped it for many years, picked it up when it's on television, watched it, and I've never really sat down and watched it all the way through. So it's going to be a first to watch it all the way through. So I'm just going to jump right into watching this, and as always, I'll be right back in a few seconds to tell you what you need to know about this movie. I just got done watching Thinner last night, and I fell asleep, so I'm going to be doing this review during the day, and I have several different categories to get through, and first up is the story. The story of the movie follows Billy Halleck, who is this really great lawyer who wins a big case in the beginning of the movie, and he's out celebrating and having a nice dinner, and on his way home he's celebrating with his wife, and inadvertently hits a gypsy, and then has to go to this little trial in order to see if charges will be filed, and the fix is in. The judge and the cop both have it out for the gypsies, and Billy Halleck is a good friend of theirs, so it's like the fix was in. So he gets off, no charges is filed, and as he's leaving the courthouse, the gypsy comes up to him and touches his cheek like that and says "Thinner," and from there he starts to lose weight very, very drastically. And so at first it's very easily manageable, but then as the movie progresses, it's starting to get to very dangerous lengths where he's losing like pounds just by walking from about 10 feet. He's losing like 10 pounds right there, and then which involves him kind of he has to go beg the gypsies to take the curse off, and they won't do it, so it forces his hand to force him to take the curse off, which brings in Joe Mantegna, who plays the mobster who helped get off the charges in the beginning of the movie, and he helps Billy to get the curse off of him, and they both successfully do it, and it's just a really great story. It's what's it called? It's adapted from Stephen King, and of course it's going to be great, but not all his movies turn out to be great movies, because just don't quite know how to convey Stephen King sometimes. The Mist and The Shining, I know technically that's a Kubrick movie, but I'll get more into that later into the month, and you got a few others that are really done really well, like Under the Dome. I will defend that TV show to the end because I really loved the book and I loved how the changes. But anyways, which brings me into casting. The casting in this movie is great. I've already mentioned Joe Mantegna, but the highlight of the movie is Robert John Burke. Sorry, I think that's. Hold on, I'm gonna look. Robert John Burke. He plays Billy Halleck, and he does a phenomenal acting job because he has to act like he's very obese and out of breath, and progressively start to lose weight and kind of start acting more of a thinner frame, and it's just a really great acting job from him, and you don't see that many acting abilities, and even in the Stephen King movie, it's really one of the top acting chops in all of Stephen King movies. So, which leads me to the visuals and special effects. The visuals in the movie is just very plain, like suburban, kind of like wooded area, stuff like that. Very non-threatening kind of visuals, but the really highlight of the movie is the special effect makeup on the 3 people who are cursed. You got a lizard makeup, which isn't quite what you think a lizard makeup. It's just very scaly and crackly. And then you got the cop who's suffering from sores of some sort, and he's just bleeding at the side of his face, and it's just That one looks a little weird to me, but overall, it's done pretty well. And then the highlight of the movie is the thin makeup. It is just phenomenal because it actually really does look like skin, because it doesn't look foamy, and it doesn't really kind of like contort the face. It really looks like it's just applied very well, and it's just done. It's just done very well because it's done by an Academy Award winning makeup artist. So it's obviously going to be really good. And that's really all I gotta say. But there is a scene of note that I really liked that really like shows the character off, because I've read that there's really no likable characters in this movie, and I do have to disagree with that, because there is one scene in this movie where they're eating breakfast. Billy Halleck and and his daughter just sitting around, kind of talking and kind of doing little Marlon Brando impressions, and she's not very good, but she's doing her best. And then you got Robert John Burke, who can do it really, really well, and it's just a really great scene. And I think the daughter is probably the most likable character in this movie, but I don't care. And so it shows an accurate portrayal of what life is. It's just series of down endings, to quote Randall from Clerks. So, and that's really all I gotta say. My name is Max James, and I'm going to go geek out.